of Collaborate and Pull Together, a podcast where we highlight all things positive on and off the table. Tonight, I have a special lineup, an insane lineup, but to start us off, we got Josiah and Gennell of the Natty Bros. What is up, guys? I got the pleasure of hanging out with them down in at the East vs. West event this weekend, and man, we got a lot to cover with that. But thank you guys for joining me.
Yeah, for sure. This weekend was great. You and I we were able to run the podcast, the live stream for the East vs. West tournament. So that was awesome. We got to do that. It was a last minute thing. Caleb was just networking, talking to people, and he set that up for us. And then we were able to get a bunch of people who weren't going to be able to watch it. So that was awesome.
For those of you who are just tuning in right now, we're actually just talking a little bit about the East vs. West Open Tournament that happened Friday night before the event. I have the official live stream on my Facebook page. I'll be sharing the link to the Natty Bros YouTube channel. So if you don't have YouTube, you don't have Facebook, I'm sorry. But either which way, try to access it so you can see it all. We got Bill Sinks on, but I don't think his camera's turned on. So we'll let you get that figured out. Let's take you off it now. But so we got that figured out. You guys mentioned, I had asked, somebody said, hey, where'd you handle the live stream? Hey, I think, we should work together, right? Yeah. And we can get the live stream using Restream. Restream is a very powerful tool, guys. I happen to love it. I'm sure there are better ones out there, but for someone who's not that tech savvy, it's kind of idiot proof.
Yeah. I like the
and it allowed for us to actually get the feed for everyone at home to watch the tournament, which I think they had almost 300 entries, which is insane for a last minute tournament, right? I mean, we were told about a month or so before 6 weeks, I think.
Yeah, it wasn't marketed a ton, but there was a lot of people who showed up. And then Auden Larrett found out that Ryan Bowen was pulling. And then when Artem Taranenko found out that those guys were pulling, he was like, I got to pull too. So the amount of high-level talent in that tournament was really unreal. It was really cool to see. Like, we really only get to see these high-level pros in super matches. Super matches are awesome. I love super matches. But back in the day, it was all tournaments, like the top 8 and stuff. We got to see these high-level pros. So it was really cool to see those matchups. Ryan Bowen, Artem Taranenko, Auden Larrett. Very cool to see.
I think every class was stacked with heavy hitters in every single one. We got Luke Polsher, Bob Brown in my class, Christo in the lighter class. Like there was insane number of people. My only losses were to Luke Polsher, and there's no shame in that game, right? No. I mean, Luke Polsher is a living legend.
No.
He's a bit of a table bully, I'd say, but kudos to him for not only competing but also reffing in the tournament. We'll get into that later. But Bill Sinks is right now on screen with us, legend of New England, right there. Marathon man himself. Welcome back. What's up, Bill?
What's going, guys? Hey, what's happening?
Did you happen to catch the live stream of the tournament over on Friday?
Oh, East West?
Yeah, the tournament, not the actual super matches, but the tournament.
I did not.
You gotta go back and watch it, man. It's on my live stream as well as the Natty Bros channel, which I'm gonna put up right here right now. Natty Bros, they also have a live stream of that, as well as a whole bunch of amazing content. I gotta say, I love seeing these guys' videos. Their energy is unreal. They're everywhere.
Thank you.
But speaking of everywhere,
was there a lot of guys there? It sounded like there was a pretty good turnout.
So we were saying for one of the classes, it was Auden Larrett, Ryan Bowen, we had Artem Taranenko, and then there was this other guy,
Steve Martinez.
No, I forgot. His last name was crazy long.
Really good. He won the left-handed class.
Yeah, there were some really good guys.
I think the most impressive thing was Christo previously, earlier in the day, he pulled his class, which is like 170 or something like that. He won it. Well, he went to the finals. And then he pulled up the 230 class, and he beat Auden Larrett, and he beat Artem Taranenko. And he ended up getting third. That was so
Really?
impressive.
Wow.
Yes.
It was crazy. He
Was
did
that
his
right?
like crazy King's move. It was right hand,
that
yeah.
Right hand. It was right-handed. Okay.
Yeah, right hand.
Okay.
And then the next day, he was in the finals on the main stage, and he beat Roman. So he got first in his category and third in the 230 category.
Wow. Where's he
Yeah.
from?
Bulgaria.
Hristo? Bulgaria, yeah.
Bulgaria. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, we were
And
talking.
True powerhouse.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
you ahead.
We were talking about like how he trains and stuff. We've met him a few times because he's reffing at every East vs. West event, and we're like, how do you train your side pressure? Like, how are you doing this other thing? How do you recover? He's like, I just pull every day.
Every day.
he's like, I just pull. He's like every day. I was like,
Simple as that.
he's like, it hurts for like a few months and then it stops hurting. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just do that. That's it. Just pull every day.
Well, I'm actually on my way to doing something along those lines because I've competed every weekend for the last month now. This upcoming weekend will be my 5th weekend in a row, and I'm trying to actually get people to come over and practice with me every day because I got everything I need to train with people. All we need is an arm wrestling table, but I got other equipment too. That spring. If I don't have somebody to train with now, I'm using the spring, for at least a half hour to an hour a day.
That's great.
That thing works beautifully. But I gotta say, I don't think I'm anywhere at the level of the marathon, man. Not yet.
You get there.
I mean, I can pull for 24 hours straight, I feel like.
I tell you, there's no replacement for table time. That is so true. The more you pull and the more you get in that position and your body reacts. Your body's a pretty amazing thing, the human body, and it's just, I tell you, you see, the development of that, abuse over the years, and I shouldn't say abuse, but that position and how your body reacts to that, and a tournament every weekend. No, that's a little excessive, but that's awesome. And if you had a choice between like working out in the gym and table time, hands down, I would suggest table time, regardless.
Yeah.
That's just so important. There's no machine or exercise that can replace somebody's arm and or hand.
No,
it really.
not. Well, so to be fair, with the tournament every weekend, what I'm trying to focus on is not to get flashed in any of the tournaments, and I think I've been lucky in that regard. I haven't been fully flashed, been able to slow people down enough and put enough, guarding and protection of my arm. So far, I'm pulling this upcoming weekend as well, and we'll see. I mean, I'm doing predominantly left-handed. I am going to pull in the tournament right-handed. I hear there's some heavy hitters coming our way for the 76s.
Oh,
yeah, we got some heavy hitters.
Aiden LeMay is stopping by.
Yeah, Aiden LeMay is stopping by.
Making his return to the 176.
Making his return. We got Sam Mitchell going to be pulling that. I think Yusuf Wilson is going to be pulling it. Mm-hmm. We're gonna have quite the squad. I mean, speaking of 176s, in the 187 class we had Steve West from Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona. He's with Arm Sport Entertainment. What's up, Steve? He's in the chat. He actually had a pretty solid pin on. I mean, the ref made a questionable call and reversal of that, in my opinion. But I did see that he had a solid pin on Luke Polsher. He flashed Luke, which is an impressive feat nonetheless. We also got Sergio Lisboa and the Drew24 in the chat. What's up, guys? He said, "Welcome to the life of beast mode." They pull back-to-back tournaments every weekend. They're wild down there. I don't know how they do it.
How often do you pull, Bill? Do you pull weekly?
I pull weekly. I pull weekly, and I work out. Like I worked out this morning just lightly because of the tournament Saturday. The SuperMatch, but I table time weekly, and that's and that table time is a good solid 2 hours. But also, like a lot of guys, that are in the trades, they're working on different,
Yeah.
depending on what you do. But I remember when I first started, that's all I could think about was just arm wrestling, and I'm a carpenter, and everything I did in my work was directly related to arm wrestling directly. Whether I also did foundation work too, and I still do that. Whether I was finishing a floor, I was thinking about that. Whether I was carrying forms, my arm was never extended out, and whether I was swinging a hammer, and if we walking around the job, I would be carrying a maul just out as far as I could possibly do it for as long as I could, just because. And the guys maybe thought I was crazy, but it was just and this is in the 80s and 90s, of course, but it was just, that was all that was on my mind. Work, of course, but the just all that stuff in addition to arm wrestling made me, do really well in the sport, and it brought me all over the world, of course. But it's just I don't know where I started with this. I'm kind of rambling on, but anyway.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome.
It's so fun. I can't explain it.
Yeah.
But basically now training, if you watch my live stream on Facebook or on, every Wednesday, we got a good group of guys. Tuppers will be, they come every week religiously, just about, and a few others. They'll be there Saturday too. Dan, where do you live? Actually, I'm just curious.
Long Island.
Long Island. Okay.
Down in Long Island, yes, sir.
Yeah. Do you know Dan Fortuna?
Oh yeah, I know Dan. I've met him a few times. Nice guy, real nice guy. One of the first people actually I contacted when I got into the sport.
Yep. I stayed with him a couple times over the years at different tournaments. I would go to New York City for different tournaments, and I stayed with Dan a few times. Known him for a long time. But is there a group that you train with? Like, you have a club that you go to?
I actually do have a crew that come to. We go to a gym over not too far from my house every Thursday. We go there. It's called Pro Game Athletics. It's a smaller gym called Clean Cut out of an athletic facility. If you looked at my stream a couple of weeks back, we had a tournament there, and it's got everything you need. We supplied, thanks to Dan Citrella, someone who's fairly new to the sport. He got bit by the bug, right? And he went ahead and invested a lot of money into top of the line tables from Mithril arm wrestling equipment out in Kazakhstan. The same equipment that Artem Morozov works with, Oleg Petrenko, all those guys. And we got side pressure machine, pulleys galore, all different types of handles. This thing's freaking amazing. Wow. But I'm there once a week, and then my second day of practice, I practice out of my own garage called the Pit. I fell in love with the sport myself, where my garage was a storage unit essentially. I cleared it out, got rid of some stuff, got motivated, and turned it into my own little arm wrestling home gym. And some people come over Sunday nights. We barbecue, we hang out, we have food, and we just arm wrestle until our arms fall off.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's great.
It's one of my favorite pastimes these days. I've been only in it for just a little under 5 years. Speaking of me being in it for only 5 years, I actually don't know. How long have you guys, the Natty Bros, how long have you guys been in the sport? And tell us a little bit about what got you into it. What got you started on your YouTube channel? A little background. I'm definitely curious to hear about you.
So it was around when I was 15, 16. I saw a video on YouTube. I don't know. I think it was Devin versus Shaq, maybe. And me and my brothers, there's 3 of us in all. We always like to arm wrestle each other. So I was like, oh, we should try this. So we did it here and there. I actually competed in powerlifting when I was in high school. And then after I finished that, I found Granite Arms, found Badger, went up there and went to a practice and was like, this is awesome. And then I competed in teens in New England, and I got second against Aiden LeMay. He was the only one who could beat me. He killed me. And then after that, like we just did it off and on for a while, and then I was gone for the military for a solid year, so I couldn't really do anything then. And then the past like year, we've been really doing it a lot more consistently. But we started the YouTube channel when it was more powerlifting, really. So we've been off and on for 4 years, but I'd say like consistently like 2 years probably.
So
Yeah.
who are you training with now, Caleb?
I still Granite Arms, but sometimes we go to Arsenal. It really depends.
Yeah. Have I met you at Granite Arms at Badgers? Did I see you at that Christmas party or anything?
We've been to Vermont States.
Yeah.
I think that's the first time we met you.
Oh, right. Hey,
Yeah,
we got a
I did
tournament.
176.
176. Yep.
Yeah.
So we got a big tournament coming up August 1st. If you're interested in going,
Got it. Okay.
It's probably the biggest. It's bigger than the state tournament.
What's the name of it?
Is that
It's
the
called
Addison Fair or something?
Addison Fair. Yep.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yep.
That's a big tournament too. One of these days I got to make it up that way. I definitely got to take the trip.
I think my older brother and I went to that one a couple years ago.
Okay.
I had to pull what's his name? Preston. He's
Eric
like
Preston?
400. Yeah, he's like the 450-pound pro, and this was like the first pro class I like ever pulled in, and it was very unfortunate.
He's a super nice guy, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's a good. He's huge. He's
Definitely
big boy. But anyway, that's cool.
We got a message for you, Caleb. Sergio Mackin-Lisboa of Beast Mode says you can't beat him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think he's calling you out. I think
that's
he's out of Beast Mode. Are you familiar with who he is?
Yeah, I've beaten him before in tournaments.
Oh yeah.
I don't think he's ever beaten me.
Fair enough. Sergio, come on, man. You got to get up there to see what you can do. I think he's actually planning on going up to Nick Stone's tournament. So maybe maybe that could be a time where you guys meet up.
Turtleman Classic 2.
The one in September, next tournament.
Yeah.
You have a match there, Bill, right?
Yes, I do.
When do you not have a match, Bill?
Isn't it Ron Armenian?
You know what's funny? It is Ron. It is Ron. I've known Ron a long time. Yeah, it's Ron.
That's awesome. That's a good match.
That is awesome. Yeah, he's. I think he's around my age. I don't remember. It's got to be close.
Bill, I don't know if you saw that the Natty Bros put on our first card a little while ago. Saw some of the matches from that one, but we would love to have you on that sometime for our next one or so.
Awesome. We love that. We love it. So I'm gonna have to check you out. You guys got a channel or whatever?
YouTube channel called the Natty Bros.
I'm gonna check it out for sure.
You take your phone, Bill. Do you know how to do a screenshot of your phone?
Yeah.
Taking a picture of that QR code right there.
It will. You know, I've been pulling a long time, and I just am starting to like. It's kind of silly, but I was late to the podcast game, and I'm just starting to like. Well, you know what? I got to do this podcast stuff because I love this sport so much, and I'm thanks for inviting me on here. But I just want to start because I got a lot that I can share for so many years. You guys are relatively new to the sport.
Oh yeah,
relatively new, and it's evolved so much in the last. At this point, it's almost 40 years I've been competing. I'm the same age as John Brasink.
Yeah.
But it's just so I don't know. And it's so fun, and there's so many good people I've met over the course of that time, and so many different tournaments, and it's evolved, and it's so cool. I don't know how else to say it, but so anyway, long story short, I'm gonna start hitting more super matches, and I should go to some tournaments because I'm training these guys every week, and I've been doing that consistently for the last however many years. So but I felt like I dropped off the radar a little bit, but I'm kind of bit back on the radar right now, which is whatever. It's cool. And it's just there's only a handful of guys that are around my age. There's a few that are still pulling, but there's not a lot of them
Yeah.
that are, pulling, and they're still kind of in the mix. You know what I mean?
Yeah. As we've been
So-
matchmaking for like our last card and then our next card and even future cards, your name has come up a lot. A lot of people have been like,
Really?
I want to pull Bill Sink. So
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, one time I was ranked for 10 years. I held number 1 in North America. That was
Wow, that is a feat right there.
That's amazing.
Definitely, but it's it's different. There's right now I see like stuff I haven't seen in talent, and the amount of guys that are getting in the sport and the exposure we're getting, unprecedented. I might have shared with you guys before at a different podcast or whatever you might have seen, is like when I first started, it was like you'd get on the mailing list for the guy that put the tournament on, the promoter, and you look forward to that flyer in the mail and see where that tournament is, and then you get 6-7 guys in your class, or whatever, sometimes more. And there was a fair amount of guys, but now it is like 30 times that amount, of people in the exposure, that we're getting, and the I don't know, not notoriety, but to some extent notoriety with these other people that are like kind of exploring their capabilities in the sport, like Brian Shaw. I'm not sure where Eddie Hall is with it, but maybe. But that one in itself was kind of like an epic like match. Not that they were two arm wrestlers, but now evolving out of that situation, I think Brian's kind of taking it really seriously. It seems to be anyway.
Yes.
So
without a doubt.
Looking pretty good.
Yeah, he's looking really good. I mean, he's got all the natural tools to be able to become an amazing arm wrestler. What he'll do with it, I don't know. Time will tell.
Do you think he'll beat Brandon Allen?
I don't know that because I don't really know Brandon Allen. I can't say for sure. I haven't seen what he's been doing. Brandon, what is his weight, Brandon?
I don't know, but he's been juicing like crazy. It looks like he looks big.
His last match that I remember was against RVJ, and RVJ killed him.
Okay.
So I know he beat Larry Wheels, and then he lost to RVJ. Those were his last matches.
Right. Well, what is Larry Wheels doing? Is he taking the sport and trying to go run with it, or is he kind of just testing the waters and having fun with it? I don't know.
No, when King of the Table and Core Sports like changed, it moved away from Dubai, moved away from Larry Wheels. Larry Wheels sold his portion, and he kind of got out of the sport. Every once in a while, you'll see a little video of him arm wrestling, but like he was doing collaborations with Levon, Michael Todd, Devin, like all of those guys, and he's not really doing that right now. I think he's more focused on other stuff.
Right.
Yeah, he just got his like IFBB Pro bodybuilding card, so I think he's trying to do that.
Cool.
So that's about how big. Brandon Allen is about 290 right now.
290.
He was much smaller against RVJ.
Right.
But even with him being at 290, I don't think he's going to have enough power to take on Shaw. I think Shaw is just going to have way too much power. His top end strength is just going to be too much for him.
Right.
Yeah.
The thing I see about Brian, I think he's a pretty intelligent guy. So he's really dissecting the sport, I think, and trying to figure out what he needs to do with the tools that he's gifted with and the strength that he's achieved throughout his powerlifting career and how that's all going to play into role. I see him like really thinking about it. And I don't follow him necessarily all the time, but I do see his stuff because it's hard not to see what he's doing because it pops up all the time. But I'm looking at his position and I'm looking at what he's doing for training, and those are the right things. He's doing the right stuff, I
mean, he's surrounding himself with greatness essentially to get greater at the sport. I mean, if anybody's as equipped naturally with his physical gifts, but it's also his mental capacity of taking it all on. It's unrivaled, in my opinion, for somebody who's just jumping into the sport.
Just jumping into it, right?
So if I had his resources, I wish, man. Speaking of his resources, we we did have an announcement this weekend at the last East First West. We'll talk a little bit more about it, but he's partnering with the next East First West.
Yeah.
Brian
Talk
is.
about an investment. Yeah, Brian. Yeah, they're
Wow.
partnering for the next
I
East
didn't
First
know
West that have it at the Shaw Classic. So that's a very high level of investment. You can't
Right.
get any more invested in that.
Yeah, and Brian Shaw, there's a lot of great things about him. He's a four-time world's strongest man, and I think even maybe more than any other arm wrestler, he knows how to prepare for competition. He is such a professional. He's such an athlete,
Right.
and as he has the strength, he has the preparation, he has the mindset, and
Mhm.
as he gets more technical, I think the match against Eddie was very good for him because he realized he had some technical deficiencies. And I'm sure he watches the round he lost and he gets so mad about that. So I'm sure he's at the table making sure that never happens again. So I think
Right.
as his technical skills catch up to the other parts of his game, he's going to be very dangerous. And then as a
Very good.
promoter, like the Shaw Classic, he does a great job with the Shaw Classic. So I think bringing that level of professionalism, he has a huge YouTube channel as well, so he knows how to put on shows, put on productions. And he's so famous that he brings such a crowd. So I think
He
this is
brings a
bringing
crowd.
a lot of new eyes to sports. Like we were in
And
Atlantic City, front row for when this match happened, and I'll tell you, Eddie and Brian brought hundreds of fans who've never
oh yeah, I was
seen
there.
arm
Yeah,
wrestling before, and they were
it was
just there for
insane.
that.
They were just there for those two exactly, and that was
Yeah.
such an incredible exposure opportunity, which I think the entire sport has benefited from. Like the gyms that we're in, they do strongman competitions. Yeah, we saw that.
Mhm.
Those guys are our idols, and we saw them compete.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
you were there, and it
Yeah.
just starts a whole new dynamic of
That's
conversation.
I brought one of the guys that works for me. He's a power lifter, and when I told
Yeah.
him about this, he knew I was an arm wrestler, but I told him that this is happening. Well, he wouldn't have went to it, but he ended up going with me to that tournament in Atlantic City, and he met Brian Shaw and Eddie Hall, and he was like in heaven. He's like a 21-year-old kid, but a huge power lifter, had an awesome time. And how many other people did the same thing and wanted to go to see that? But now, some of them may be like fans of arm wrestling at this point. Who knows how that all evolves? So we might be, benefiting from that too. And then on top of that, Brian Shaw's a nice guy.
Oh yeah.
He's
Yeah,
Yeah,
looks
definitely.
like a nice guy. He's not, I don't know.
but
So all those things put together
but
is going to benefit.
funny story with Brian Shaw. I approached him after the King of the Table, and I'm sure you probably had this question before. People asking people who asked you, smaller guys like myself, if they could do a hang off your arm. Can I do a pull up off your arm? And he looked at me and goes, I've never gotten that, and the answer is no. And I was really disappointed, man. I was like, oh man, why not? You could curl me with these. Why not? Go ahead, come on.
Yeah.
But so I gotta say, the collaborations we're seeing in this sport and the evolution of the sport has been unreal to witness. As somebody who's big into networking and has been a part of, you know, a different world. When it comes to my professional job, I used to work with a company that had a major competitor, and while they grew, we grew, right? Um,
Mhm.
and I'm seeing that happening here in our sport. There's some
Right.
division that's happening, but there's also some growth happening in the same light. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about the growth. There's other channels out there that'll talk all about the division and what's going on and the negatives. I'm here to highlight a little bit of a positive mindset.
Great.
I do think that with East First West partnering with Brian Shaw, it's going to open up a whole new floodgate for the sport.
Hmm.
There's still going to be plenty of our sport that can be true to the WAF style of arm wrestling and maintain that in its entirety. I do think that between, with East First West going, with Mac going, with Brian Shaw getting into it, there's room for it all, right?
Oh yeah.
So with somebody who's been in multiple decades of this sport, what are your thoughts on the evolution of different entities getting involved and, different groups and different organizations participating in the sport of arm wrestling?
Well, first, I think that's a benefit, and I think that's a great thing, as long as they can all kind of figure out how to work together and not be at odds with each other, and try to, because that's always been a problem. When I first started, it was AAA was like the number one league at the time that you'd go to your, ideally win, and then you go to nationals, and then if you second to nationals, you went to worlds. Well, we also at that time had was the other national, if you will, for a little while, and they didn't work together. Well, that didn't benefit anybody, and that, I think, when that happens, stuff our sport back, and if we could try to work through that and just collaborate, like your podcast states, would be so much easier to excel. It's just I can appreciate you're trying to put the positive, because I think that's an awesome thing. All ships rise when the tides rise. It's really the reality of it is, it's so true. See that time and time again. But I don't know what the dissension is between different organizations. Hopefully, there's not a lot out there. I'm not sure what you're speaking about particularly. But I'm choosing not to be a part of that, and hopefully that we can, work together and just excel the sport to whatever level it's able to go, I guess. And you see all these different clubs out there pulling, like mine, like your guys. You guys they all have the same. We're all in the same boat. We're doing the same thing. Who cares? And or that tournament, whatever, just do it. I don't know. For a while there, I remember, let's see, one of the first organizations that I had that I didn't have to, but I signed with was UAL. So I was a signed athlete with UAL, and I wasn't supposed to pull in any other tournaments unless I got off. And that didn't bode well with me. I did it initially because I saw the potential there a little bit anyway, because I saw so many different organizations try to, elevate the sport, but ultimately failed for whatever reason. And I guess that in itself, where you had to be limited to certain things, and other athletes did or did not get that, like signed with UAL as well, and he was able to pull tournaments. They didn't stop John. But and then when Walker,
John Brzenk,
of course, that's different. But there was a handful, I don't know how many guys were, but signed athletes, but there was a fair amount of them, and we enjoyed it. It was we got money, we got paid, we had a great venues and all the stuff that they, promoted. The guy put a lot of money in it, and then when Wall came around, and that was the same kind of thing. So most of us all shifted to Wall, and then that went kind of by the wayside. I think their website's still up, and all the guys are still on it, but I don't know where that's going. But it just seems you can have your different tournaments, like you guys run tournaments, and I do too. But if we still have a collective goal, we can, it's just so much better, I guess, what I'm getting at.
For sure.
I mean, it's kind of interesting for us because we just put on our first promotion, and it's like we've been looking at all these people putting on super matches, and I don't see them as like competition. Like for instance, Aiden was supposed to have a match on our card, Aiden LeMay. He was like, hey, Mac offered me a match for the similar time. And I was like, take it, man. Like, I want to give these guys opportunities. That's what matters more than anything. Like, so it's good to collaborate. Like, Mac was one of our sponsors, and they can be seen as competition from us. Like,
right.
We can
That's awesome. Together. You still work together. Right.
Exactly. You know what? There's a collaboration over competition, right? If you see it as, listen, your growth will only help my growth, and vice versa, my growth can help yours.
Yeah.
We're all going to increase the number of opportunities we get. We're going to increase the chances and experience that we can get. and becoming a better, more well-rounded athlete and participant of the sport. And yes, teamwork makes the dream work, Steve West. That is absolutely true. You know, we can have differences of opinion, but we can also sit there and say, hey, what you've learned in your experience can benefit me and vice versa.
Right. You know, there's going to be hiccups along the way, but it is what it is. You just work through them, figure it out. It's that simple in my mind.
Yeah, absolutely. So, in both of your guys' opinions, Natty Bros, what was one of your highlight moments of this weekend's event beyond the tournament that we experienced? What was it?
Oh, there's a lot to pick
That's
from.
tough.
All right, 5. I'll give you 5.
Okay.
5 highlights.
The
We'll make it
first one
easier.
I'll say is Risto he was repping our shirt when he was pulling, so that was pretty awesome.
That was
Every
awesome.
time, so he beat Auden, Larrett, and then he pointed to the shirt. it was really cool.
That's
I
awesome.
like that guy.
I mean, I would say one moment for me was that I was able to medal in the Pro 187 class. I was not expecting that. The only reason I did was because Risto, he kept telling me to pull in it. I wasn't prepared at all. And I beat some like really good European guys, this crazy strong Ukrainian guy. And when I got a medal and everyone was cheering, I was like, this is pretty great.
You did an amazing job, man. You looked real good. You looked real connected. Your
My
left
left
was good.
feels good.
It looked good. I regret not
What's
pulling
your
you,
weight,
lefty.
kid?
176 for
What's
the most part. But this, it was,
When I first started, I was 176.
wow.
That's what I pulled it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 176. And I had a big hand for 176.
I bet.
Yeah, I can imagine you were, oh my God, lethal.
I was 76 for a few years. I was, probably 10 years. And then I started get bigger and bigger, or putting weight on as you get older.
I'd say the next highlight is Caleb and I got the privilege of interviewing Devin Lorette. That interview is up on our channel. That was very cool. We've met him a few times before, but we were able to get an interview with him. So that was really cool. And he's super,
Good for you
he's
guys.
super insightful, and he's always at the forefront of growing the sport. So I think he's a good ambassador for what we're trying to accomplish as a community. So
I actually had a couple cool Lorette moments. One, the first thing that Devin said to me when he saw me is, "Hey, buddy, how's the channel going?" Because he remembered we're the Natty Bros, and I was like, "Hey, man, like, yeah, it's going good." And we got to meet Auden and we met Milo for the first time, and I gotta say, Milo is one of like the nicest people I've met in a long time. We actually were able to give Milo and Auden jerseys, so they both were wearing them. So that was cool too. And they were like, "Oh, come up anytime. We can let you stay with us. Like, it'll be great." So we're gonna probably do that in a couple months. So.
Cool.
The entire family, they're such like I don't know what the best word. Like they're gracious, right? I really do enjoy like their energy. They carry. They're very welcoming. There you go. That's more so. Yeah,
Very welcoming.
very welcoming
Yeah,
to everybody
sure.
in the sport, and the fact like the things that Devin remembers about you, like type of deal, it shocks and awes me to this day.
Yeah.
I mean, I was hanging out with him in Puerto Rico, and he was remembering conversations that I had with him years ago. And I'm like, I don't remember what I had for breakfast. How do you remember this? And like it's definitely it makes you feel special because this is the globally most recognized arm wrestler on the planet, and he's remembering something about me. That's pretty.
That's awesome. Yeah, that speaks volumes to where Devin's how much of an ambassador and a poster child for our sport, really.
Yeah, and I think the matches where that card really was impressive. There was a lot of amazing matches. Got to see some local American guys get some wins, which was awesome. Paul Lynn, Ryan Bellinger, Joseph William, a lot of awesome guys.
Yeah, I was talking to Joseph, and he was like, "Yeah, I've been seeing Garrett Tupper a lot. He looks pretty strong."
Oh, that would be a fun match.
Yeah,
I was like, "Hey, maybe we could set that up sometime." That would be
we should. I pull Garrett every week. and he's getting better and better all the time. He is so dedicated, and he's just I don't know. At 154, he's climbing that ladder.
Oh
He's
yeah.
wicked strong. Definitely strong.
Have you pulled him, Dan?
Yeah, I've pulled him a couple of times. The most recent, not the last Jason Vale, but the one before that, I pulled with him, and he pulled up, and he was he was a lot to deal with, but I was able to pull a win off of him. But still, nonetheless, he probably gave me one of the more troublesome matches that I experienced that night.
Gotcha.
He's stupid strong though.
I feel guilty. I haven't been to the Jason Vale tournament yet. And Jason was a good friend of mine for a long, long time. In fact, he and I, one year, we were both known for pulling the straps for years and years and years. And I had this is years ago, I had a super match with him at the Jacob Javits Center in New York City. And I think it was best out of 3. Anyway, I ended up beating him. But one year we went to Worlds, and we were always neck and neck, Jason Vale. I don't know if you probably guys maybe didn't know him. I don't know. I ended up second, and he ended up third, and I was in Virginia Beach Worlds. So, but anyway, long story short, I always wanted to go to I needed to go to that tournament because it's a strap only tournament, and that was kind of cool.
Oh, that's cool. It's strap only. Wow.
Yeah, it's strap only. It's only
him because he only pulled in the straps.
Right. He would, almost intentionally slip out, and I didn't care. I wanted him to strap anyway.
Yeah.
But he was definitely a formidable opponent in the strap for sure.
Where's that tournament held?
Long Island, usually.
Long Island.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the 4th year, I think.
Yeah, this last one was the 4th year.
There's so many tournaments now. I feel like there's one every other weekend. It's crazy.
At least every other weekend. I mean,
it's good though.
It is good because you know what? Here's the thing: everyone has a busy life, right? Everyone has work. Everyone has family obligations, whatever it may be. And so now you have some options. Like you don't have to try to maneuver your life so much to make it to a tournament. You can actually find a tournament that fits into your life, which I like.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's a good problem to have. It didn't used to be like that. It was never. It was like now. You're right. There's a ton of tournaments all the time, which is great. It's another thing we should try to collaborate on is, and I do this with James Reed because he kind of. I'm a good friends with him, and we kind of like make sure that we don't overlap our tournaments or get our tournament within a couple hours on the same day, just so it's more attractive for people to try to. They don't have to make that choice necessarily.
Well, I don't know if you remember, Bill, but I messaged you like asking when the Vermont States was because we were having our Natty Bros card. I messaged you on Facebook and asked.
You did, yes.
Yeah.
That's right. What did you end up doing? I forgot.
We
June 14th.
June 14th.
June 14th. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Where it was the same as Keystone, so we did it at Granite Arms. It was more of like a private venue because we wanted to just like get the production quality all good. And we had some good matches there. Josh Grant went against Sam Mitchell. That was a war.
Who ended up prevailing on that one?
Sam, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
It
was impressive.
A crazy match.
Matt Bush had a very good match against Will Farron. He won that one 3-2. Ethan Sharrett won 3-0. Caleb had a match against Yusuf.
Really?
It was a very good match.
Who won that one?
My right hand is pretty bad right now. He beat me.
3-1, was it?
Yeah, I think 3-1.
So
it was fun.
Matt Brush and Ethan come over occasionally to my house.
Yes, yeah.
They train with us. Yeah. They're kind of almost the same distance as Badgers, I think. Not too. Maybe they're closer to Badger, but anyway, they've been over a few times.
You train up in Vermont, right?
Yep. Where you guys are? Where again?
Right in northern Massachusetts. So I live near Lowell. So Manchester's pretty close to us, and then we go down to Boston sometimes with Josh's practice.
Yeah. So you're probably about, give or take, 3 hours from me.
Yeah, it's a drive.
Well, you went to the Vermont State.
Yes,
We did.
Or so that might be 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a little bit closer, but you're welcome to come over and train with us anytime. We got a really good group of guys every week, and I got Garrett just bought another table. I think I got 7 tables now. Yeah.
Y'all got to send me your practice locations because I'm looking to do. I have a new work schedule. I'm working Monday through Thursday, so I have Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. So if you have practices on those days, I'm not just going to make tournaments. I'm going to be making practices that might be a little further out of reach for me. So
I used to do that all the time. Go to different people. That's awesome. You should do that, Dan. That's
how I level up. That's how I level up, man. Grip up with more arms, and I normally don't.
Yeah, you have to travel to get better. There's no doubt about it. If you stay in that little, some people stay in the same area, within an hour of where they live, and they can't really get to that next level because they just don't get the exposure to different people's hands and arms and just the environment. It's so true.
Yeah.
I'll send you. Yeah, I'll put my location on that group chat thing. So
Nice.
Dan, you had probably the best view in the house for East versus West. What were some of your highlights, your favorite matches, things that happened?
So before the event, I had one of the best views of something hysterical. I posted a picture of Irakli.
Oh, I saw that.
grabbing or caressing Levant's beard. It was awesome. And I think Luke Bolsher commented the best way ever.
Yeah, you have to give it to him.
I gotta give him, it's not your fault that the ref was mean to you type of deal. So shout out to Luke Bolsher for being a good sport on that one. But that was hysterical to watch. So I almost actually died sitting up on that elevated platform. So I was up on an elevated platform that was about, I wouldn't say 4 feet high.
Yeah.
I was sitting on the chair, and during the final, or during the main event, Hermes versus Levant, I got so into it while I'm holding the camera, and I start backing up my seat, so I don't knock into the camera, and the chair literally almost fell off. And if it wasn't for Reichard Borman from standing right in front of me, I reached out, grabbed him on the shoulder, and it was like grabbing a tree. I kid you not. The guy's built like a freaking tree. Grabbed him, and he looks up and he goes, "You okay, bro?" I was like, "No, you just saved my life." And he goes, "Wait, what?" He looks at the chair. He looks at me. He goes, "Oh," and he kind of helps me back into the position. It was one of the scariest moments of my life, but it was a highlight, man. It was hysterical. It was absolutely hysterical.
I missed that because I was sitting almost right behind you, and I saw Reichard standing right there. I missed that. I was too involved looking at the match. That's fun.
Oh yeah. Some of the matches I missed some of the highlights. I was so I wouldn't miss it, but I was so focused on manning the camera that I couldn't appreciate it for what it was as it was happening. But I will say, watching Devin versus Alex Kudecha was amazing. That was crazy. You're right. Crazy is the best way to put it. I was impressed with Joseph's performance, how he 3-0'd him. That was just like, whoa, he shut that shit down.
Yeah.
But those are some of my highlights of the event from seeing it from that perspective, because I had a little bit of I was a little elevated, a little higher point of view. Got some good shots. Getting to see Paul Lynn's son cheering on Devin, cheering on Paul. That was awesome. I have my own son. I look, if I ever make it to that kind of stage, I hope that he can make it. There with me, because. Yeah. Talk about a power boost, having your own kid in your corner like that. That's
awesome.
That's where it's at.
There was another little kid. I don't think it was Paul's son. I saw Paul's son as well, but he ran up to the stage when Levant was pulling, and Levant gave him a high five. It was a really cool moment. And then when Thea was pulling, he was like, "I love you, Thea," and she blew him a kiss and stuff. And the kid went back to his dad. He was so happy. I just think that's so cool. Like even like little kids are like getting involved. They know the arm wrestlers. Like that's really cool to see.
Yeah, I remember that. I love that event. That because the dad was sitting right behind me, right?
Yes,
And
yes, yeah.
yeah, he was sitting like right behind me, and he was so happy. He's like, my kid got to experience this. Like, talk about making memories.
Yeah, for sure.
Guys, I gotta get going.
Well, before
Thanks
you
for having
leave,
me
hang
on.
on.
Yeah.
Where's your match going with Vlad?
It's
Where's your
I don't want to say.
where are you taking it? You don't want to say? Okay,
I think I think
take it to the pad.
maybe I say well, definitely to the pad, but he's strong. There's no doubt about it. I heard a lot about him. He's super strong. So I'm gonna try to keep him in my lane. We'll see. I feel I'm on a winning streak right now, and maybe he is too. I don't know. So we'll see how that all shakes out. But I'm looking forward to it. He's up and coming. Definitely. I'm not. Where is he from? Actually, do you know? I know he's from Russia, but where does he live?
I think he's in Western
Connecticut.
Mass.
Or Western Mass or Connecticut. I know he trains with Nick Stone and are those guys
Right.
down that way.
Fitzy? Or does he
Yeah,
train in the?
Yeah.
I know Nick has two practices. Nick trains as Fitzy, and then he also has like the dungeon.
The dungeon,
practice.
The dungeon, yeah.
Maybe it's those
With
I
the
think
chief,
he's gonna
with
have
the
trouble
chief.
with my hand. I don't know. We'll see. But
He just
anyway.
he just beat John Cervantes pretty
Yep.
convincingly too. That's
Yeah. I've never lost to John.
Oh, really?
Never lost to John, but I haven't pulled him recently, and I just pulled I think one of John's Kurt Howgate. You know Kurt?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I just pulled him at my tournament, and I beat him. Did you see that?
You beat Kurt? Wow.
I beat Kurt right-handed.
That's impressive.
And he's 265, and I'm only 200. But I entered.
Very impressive.
It was so actually I can't say he beat me the first time, the first poll we had, and then I came back and I beat him twice.
Wow.
And I felt pretty good. So I just beat Kurt, and then I had a match with Miguel earlier this year that I beat Miguel 3-0, Miguel Fernandez.
Yeah.
That was an insane match.
That was a lot of fun. Miguel is
he's no slouch.
He's pretty stout for sure.
Definitely
He's no slouch.
Definitely
He's a super nice guy. But there's some there. What else did I have just recently? I don't know. I had 3 super matches and I can't remember the other guy. But anyway, regardless, I guess what I'm saying. I think, like I said, I think he's going to have some trouble with my hand. I know he's super strong, and he's a young guy, and I'm older, of course. But if I peel him out, we'll have a match. If I stop him, keep him out of his game, I feel very, very confident.
Listen, you're lying to us about being an older guy. You're forever 30 years old. You figured out how to stay there in peak condition. You just constantly. You don't look like you've aged since the day I met you.
Awesome. I tell you, a lot of that I attribute to this sport. Just having something to train for. If you have, something that you enjoy, like I do, that keeps me going. I work, 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm in the gym working out. So that's, there's just, and now I'm looking forward to this match on Saturday. Whether I win or lose, I got another match with Ron coming up. And like I said, I'm kind of enjoying, this time. I remember years ago, I've been doing this a long, long time. And I've stayed active pretty much throughout the time. Very few hiatuses. If they were really short-lived. So, but I got a few more competitive years in me. And I'm going to, enjoy, this kind of environment with you guys is awesome. It's great to see you guys. And I'm going to check out your channel, guys. I'm going to look, check see what you got on there. And
yeah, awesome.
I'll have to get on with you at some point or whatever, visit with you. And
Yeah, for sure. We'd love to have you on a future card. A lot of people want to pull you, so.
oh yeah.
There you go.
Well, here's Ron is another one that he's never beaten me. He wants revenge. We'll see where that goes. I feel pretty good about that. We could have an off day or whatever.
Yeah.
So we'll I got to run, guys. Good chatting with you.
Pleasure having you on, man.
We'll talk to you later.
Bill.
Have a good one.
Thanks, guys.
All right, see you this weekend.
Who do you have, Dan, in that matchup?
With Bill versus Vlad?
Yeah.
Oh, man. So I've seen Vlad and Bill both just go freaking ham on each other, in their respective opponents. I'm going to say it could be a 3-2 either which way, to be honest, because I watched Vlad take on two people back-to-back when we went down to Montana, both of which I think outweighed him by a considerable amount. And one of the guys had an iron hand, but he was able to still maneuver around him. So 3-2 either which way. I'm undecided. I can't bet on either one of them because I think that it's going to be a battle royale.
Yeah. I can't believe he beat Kurt Howgate because I see him pull like every tournament that like I ref in the local area, and he just destroys everyone. Like it's not even close. Like he just goes like very slowly, just like because he's just like way stronger than them. And he's a huge guy. He's a great arm wrestler. So wow. I know Bill's really good. I didn't know he was that level. That's insane.
Well, so you guys got to go to the after poll too. After the East versus West event. Any highlights from there that you guys wanted to share?
Caleb got to pull Milo a little bit. That was cool. We got to pull Hristo a lot. We've seen Hristo for the last 3 events that we've been to, so we always get to pull. It's an honor pulling him. Pavlo was there. Artem Morzov pulled a little bit, but I wanted to pull Bob Brown, but he was done for the day.
He did not want to pull. I twisted his arm to pull me a little bit, but he's like, I'm not going to be really giving you anything, right? I'm too old for this shit. And I was like, oh man. I got to pull with the first and second with Hristo, but then also Roman.
And Roman,
I really, really wish that I, focused on cutting weight and, going with lighter weight. I think I would have actually given those two in a tournament setting. At the very least, I would have given Roman a fight. I don't know about Hristo, but Roman, I actually pulled with him back. I think it was at Arnold's, and he didn't want to go to the strap with me, so he did at the same time as the slip, he did one of those elbow fouls, and so he knew exactly which way I was going and avoided every aspect of the strap. And so I was like, when I first got to him, like, we're going to the strap because I ain't letting you, I want to see something. He goes, what do you mean? You probably don't remember, but Arnold, you refused to go to the strap. He goes, who wants to go to the strap? I was like, I do.
Yeah, he is a really good hit.
He's got a really good hit. Really good hit.
Him and Hristo had a crazy match on the main stage for first place. That was impressive.
That was a very impressive match. Absolutely.
I'm sure Hristo was very tired from pulling Auden and Artem Taranenko and those guys the day before, but it's still super impressive.
Nonetheless, yeah. But so let's see. Watching it was Artem versus Pavlo in the after poll we saw. That was interesting to watch because that's just sort of
Pavlo looks very strong in both arms. It's very impressive. He had like a day's notice, and he went in and beat a top 10 left arm.
Yeah, he's now in top 10 in the world. Like that's crazy. Yeah,
it's insane. And he took that match against Wagner last minute, right?
It was literally a day in advance.
One day. like 2 days.
Literally,
Yeah.
yes.
Talk about stepping up to the plate. Jesus.
And then he went in with, what was it, 3-0, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
very
Yeah, it
impressive.
was-
And Wagner is a great left-handed arm wrestler. And
Oh my God, he is no slouch left-handed whatsoever.
And he
I
just
definitely want to see Pablo with like a top 5 match soon for left hand. I want to
I
see.
think-
I don't know.
I would like to see that too. You know, I always thought Pablo was smaller. I mean, I think at one point he was, but like, you know, when I first came into the sport, but now he's up there.
Yeah,
He's up there. He's a massive person.
Maybe him versus like Kurdecha or something. That wouldn't be
Ooh,
bad.
that could be a fun one. I feel like the height difference. I mean, well, no, we've seen Pablo take on tall guys too, but there is that height difference. That, you know, somebody actually mentioned, that Shaw will have a hard time with Brandon Allen's King's move. I really don't think so. I think actually if Brandon Allen's smart, he's not going to go into King's move because how tall Shaw is and his long ass lever, he's going to get climbed right over that King's move and put all of his weight on it. I mean, he's 400 pounds. Like, you know, at 290, that's a 110-pound, you know, weight difference. I don't know. I think that, you know, having those kind of levers do help in that kind of scenario.
If this was Brian's first super match, I would agree. But I think he's progressed quite a bit. Like you even saw him in a poll with Devin. He pressed Devin and pinned. Like I know that doesn't mean a ton, but he wasn't able to do that before. Like he actually got into a really good position with his press and pinned him. So Brandon Allen does have a very technical King's move, and it is tough to counter. But I think like that's what Brian does is he posts, he pulls back, and then he comes forward for a press. So he has the tools to beat it.
And like, how are you going to get height on Brian when his arm is like this long?
Like skyscraper.
Brandon's hand is going to start like this, I feel like, and Brian's going to climb over.
Like, I know grip isn't like the biggest thing in arm wrestling, like in the straps, but outside of the straps, like it must be so intimidating gripping Brian's hand because Brian is a world level grip athlete. So, and the size of them and the strength, like, oof.
I think that it's going to go to Shaw. And no knock to Brandon. Brandon is a beast in its own regard, but I don't think he's going to have too much to slow even Brian down. If Brian comes in fierce, like he turned it up, later in the match with Eddie, he's going to turn it. If he turns it up against Brandon, Brandon's in trouble. Brandon could potentially get hurt, and I don't wish that upon anybody, but, pull smart, Brandon. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. I know Robert Oberst also. Does he have a match against Eddie? Is that who it is?
Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that, like, because I love those guys. Like, I watched the World's Strongest Man, like the History Channel show. It was Brian Shaw, Eddie Hall, Robert Oberst, and Nick Best. Like, those guys have awesome personalities, super strong, super fun to watch. So Robert Oberst is also like a clown like Eddie is. So both of them going at it is going to be so entertaining. And they're both extremely strong and competitive. So that's going to be awesome to watch. I love that.
That is going to be fun.
Like I know
wonder.
Go ahead.
No, go.
I was going to say, I know some arm wrestling purists are like, no, this isn't WAF level, like arm wrestling, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, this is awesome. Like two really dedicated strength athletes pulling each other. It is going to be a show. It is going to be entertaining. It's going to bring people to the thing. We're not saying it's like a world title match or anything. Like it's just a very entertaining match between two strength athletes, and it's going to be awesome. Really looking forward to that one.
They both have a very massive following in their own regard, so they're just going to bring more eyes to the sport because they're going to come for watching them, but they're going to stay for the rest of the action, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, between Brian and Eddie, they have more subscribers than like all arm wrestling content combined, probably.
Yeah, pretty much. And Brian and Eddie, I think they promoted their match better than any arm wrestler ever has done. Because most of the time it's like there is some build up to a thing, but they were hyping it up, and it was really cool.
So I know Steve Fernandez was going to be coming on. He was going to try to get on here, but he's having some technical difficulties. So I definitely wanted to shout out the event that he's got coming up this weekend. He's dipping his hat into a pretty solid venue. It's called the Dramatic Hall up in Peekskill. This right here is the SuperMatch and tournament event page. I got to say, I got some peeks of the venue, not in person as of yet, but a lot of videos, and this thing looks fire this weekend.
Yeah,
There's a chance I might come.
Oh, I hope you do. You're gonna see me destroy, and I say destroy Ed DeCruz, left-handed.
I think it's a bit of a mismatch. I think that's a mismatch, to be honest.
Oh yeah. Well, I will say, I got to say, no knocks to Ed DeCruz. Ed is a monster in his own right. He's got a massive, strict curl feats of strength. So there's that, but there's also, not for nothing, I've never beaten him left-handed. He's actually always beaten me, but it's been a long time since we've competed in a left-handed match. We usually do a little bit of an after pull, and by then I'm shot. I'm like a Ferrari, man. When it comes to arm wrestling competition, I get this world's worst adrenaline dump, and then it's not till much later into the after pull that I'm like, I can get once I eat something and get back into it. That's about it for me. But I'm going to destroy him. I'm going to destroy him. Match. Why do you think it's going to be a mismatch, Caleb?
Just because I know what level you're at, and I just know how badly Youssef killed him, which I don't know.
He did dominate him.
I think I have a chance to beat Ed, to be honest. Maybe he would kill me. I don't know, and I think you would beat me.
You know what? I think that's something we need to see. We need to see you versus Ed, afterwards, because he's gonna, you versus Ed, me versus Ed. I did say to Ed, listen, you need to get yourself bulk up and go up a weight class or something, because this arm wrestling thing ain't working. He's got something to prove. That's the other thing. He's got 3 losses under his belt recently, right? Or 2 losses rather, and I'm planning on being his third, obviously. So I told him, he's got to get out of the weight class or do something different.
Oh yeah, for sure. What are some of the other matches on that card?
We got Sam Mitchell versus Youssef, left-handed.
Okay. You want to do some predictions?
Let's Chris Michael.
Let's bring them up.
I'll be back in 1 second.
Okay, I'm gonna bring them up.
Do we want to do some predictions?
Hell yeah, let's do that. Let's do that while we're waiting for some more guests to jump on.
Yeah, so Youssef Wilson and Sam Mitchell. I have seen them pull quite recently, left and right hand. And Sam, I love both of the guys. Good friends with both of them. Sam's going to kill Youssef. It's not even going to be close. Youssef's not going to be able to top roll him. Sam gets to his spot. It's going to be bad. It's going to be, is it best of 5?
It is best of 5.
Yeah, my prediction is 3-0 Sam Mitchell.
Oh, Sam is going to murder Youssef. He's going to murder him.
Murder him. I think he's going to murder him too.
I love his confidence, though. Even if he's going to win or lose, he always comes in with the most confidence, gives himself the best chance to win. So, kudos to him. But I think he's in for some trouble.
I agree. I totally agree with you on that. I'm looking for the match lineup. I don't have it in front of me, so I know you said you mentioned.
Tupper is pulling?
Yes, Garrett Tupper versus Chris Michaels.
Which hand?
I think right hand.
That's left hand. Oh no, yeah, right hand. Yeah.
Chris Michaels usually has Garrett left hand, and Garrett usually has Chris right hand. But it's always close because they pull a lot in tournaments. So Chris Michaels usually gets the better of him on left. I think Garrett has a small edge on him, but it's very close. But I'm going with Garrett, maybe a 3-2 or something.
I think Garrett is going to win. Right-handed. I think Garrett has the tools necessary. His hook is nasty, and that's the lane to go into. I think if Garrett lands his hook in there, Chris is going to be in trouble.
For sure.
We got Wade Roberts versus Alexander.
Oh, okay. So I know Wade very well. I've seen him pull a ton. Alexander, I've heard of him, but I don't know a ton about him.
I think it's going to go with Wade.
Yeah, Wade maybe like 3-1, 3-2.
Yeah.
I don't really know Alexander either, so it's hard to determine that one.
I've seen Alexander pull, but I think Wade has a little bit more table IQ. I think he's going to outmaneuver him.
Should we just start calling this guy Alex Squared?
Alex Squared. Alex is second degree.
I like this one. Miguel Fernandez versus Ben Campoli. That's a pretty good one.
I'll go with
that's
Ben.
That's going to be a good one.
Ben's my homeboy.
Ben is on a rampage. Ben is looking good.
I gotta say, all right, if it goes to the strap, I'm gonna do a slight lean to Ben. Yeah. If it stays out of the strap, I'm giving it to Miguel.
Well, Ben's like 10 times stronger in the strap, so that's pretty fair.
Well, he just tries to slip us out of the straps.
Yeah. But Miguel, Miguel, he's got one of those grips that you're not slipping easily. Like there's no easy slip happening whatsoever.
Yeah. Interesting little thing is there's this guy from Kazakhstan. His name is Rakat, and he pulled at Neil Main, and he pulled against Josh Grant, Wade Roberts, like all of those guys, and he beat everyone except Ben Campanoli, and Ben got him the first match in the straps. It was insane. He got him in the straps, and it was a wicked hit, and he beat Rakat. Rakat came back to beat him. But actually, this weekend, Rakat was on the main stage. He killed everyone, and he was on the main stage against Tim Talmadge, and Tim Talmadge was able to beat him. But that's the level that Ben's at, around the Tim Talmadge, the Rakat. He's that level, which is a pretty high level.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen him take on guys much bigger than him when he was a little bit bigger himself. And then I saw him, against Mark Haggett as well. Yeah, where he did a really good job there. But it depends on where the match lands. If it stays out of the strap, and Miguel keeps him out of the strap, it's going to be Miguel's all day long. But if it goes to the strap, I'm going to lean lightly towards Ben's favor, because I've seen him in the strap. He just absolutely just stonewall people who I thought he had no business stonewalling.
Yeah.
Then actually Chris Michaels is pulling another match versus Vadim German, left-handed.
I'm not.
Vadim's different left-handed.
Okay.
I think Vadim is built different left-handed. I've seen him. I pulled with him left-handed. His hit is just immense. It's got it feels like a super heavyweight hitting you. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced it. Do you know him?
I haven't pulled with him before, but he does look familiar.
He always shows up in the funniest outfits too. He's very entertaining at the table.
Oh wait, does he wear bucket hats or whatever?
Yes.
Oh, I think I have seen him before.
Yeah, he was at East vs. West. King of the Table. I think he won the King of the Table tournament. Or
Josiah, he took a picture with Alex Toprol and us or whatever.
Yeah. Okay, it kind of rings a bell. Oh, do you see the guy? This is kind of related, but the guy, what's his name? The guy who was at Keystones, who wears the Macho Man thing.
Oh yeah, Andrew Maworski. Yeah, he was on the show. Yep.
He also
He's
had
funny.
awesome.
He's a good energy. Real good energy.
The whole event, because I was sitting next to him, the whole event, and he was just going. He was like, "Yeah!" He had all these lines. It's funny. He brings the
Great
energy.
energy. The
He
dude
got a
is
few
something
laughs out
else.
of the athletes up there.
Oh, hell yeah. Without a doubt. Gotta say, every tournament needs a guy like him. Speaking of
Shout
which,
out Macho Man.
Macho Man, big shout out. And speaking of high energy, big shout out to Joe Yaros, the MC for the tournament. He was the guy who was on the mic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Big
yeah,
shout
yeah.
out to him. That dude is funny and he's
He was
on.
great.
He
And
had
he's a good
everything
puller.
flowing. He's a great puller. The dude's well rounded in all regards. So
When he got in Artem's face and like they were yelling at each other, that was funny.
yeah.
And they're like they're not actually mad. They're just showing each other love.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Artem had me send that video to him afterwards.
I think we got 2 more matches.
Okay.
Maybe 3. Oh, 3. We got 3 more. We got Jonathan Wadbogo, also known as Bigfoot, versus James Clark Jr., Superman's son.
Oh, that's a big match.
That's a big match. Those who don't know who Bigfoot is, Bigfoot's a monster. He's an absolute monster. I mean, that's why I call him Bigfoot. He shows up. He doesn't really. He's not on social media much. He doesn't go to a lot of tournaments. He shows up at a tournament and then disappears for months on end, and he kills the tournament. Like he murders everyone in the tournament. So, but James Clark, I've seen him, do some serious damage to his classes as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he does.
Yeah, I've seen James Clark. He pulled at the main stage in Orlando at the East vs. West event. So he's very good. He's a legit guy. I'm not too familiar with Bigfoot, but I'll go with James Clark just because I know him. But
I'm gonna go with James Clark too because I think he's got the X factor with him. Even though Bigfoot's more mysterious, I think that James Clark has the drive.
Yeah,
Sounds
like a fun match though.
Yeah, definitely gonna be a fun one. I'm saving my personal favorite for the last one.
Okay.
But we got the next one is a guy who's beaten me not too long ago. Conrad, a young Polish guy out of Staten Island, taking on Jordan Maskell, which I don't know who that is. I think he's up by you guys.
I've heard his name.
Yeah,
apparently
these are 2 guys that like Aiden was talking about. Like might be a good match for him or Sam Mitchell. So like I know that they're really strong.
They are. Conrad is a beast right-handed. I mean, he beat me fairly convincingly back in December, or November maybe. Yeah, no, it was November last year, and he's only gotten stronger. But talk about motivation because that's a guy I'm trying to chase after. He's local, so it's somebody who I go to a few practices where he's at a few times, and I am closing that gap. It's getting closer, but it's still a gap nonetheless.
Isn't he like really young too?
Yeah, he's like 20. He's 21. He just turned 21, and he just started arm wrestling just about 2 years ago.
That's
brand
insane.
new to the sport. He's got a training crew that he's working well with. This guy named Shiu and Jason Ciardi, who's in the chat. What's up? Oh, he's way stronger now. Jason Ciardi is known to turn monsters in out of anybody that trains with him. So maybe I need to kidnap him and have him train me. I hope I don't get shut down from Facebook or YouTube or for saying the K word. But Jason Ciardi, man, I need your help. Get me ready for anything.
Oh, Jason, I know him. Met him at in Orlando.
Okay. Really nice dude. Strong dude. Faced him. I ended up pulling at my own tournament because they needed a fill-in. Brackets got kind of messed up, so I jumped in because we just needed it. And I ended up taking second place to him because he was just too strong. I pulled up in weight class and definitely too strong for me. But yeah, no, he's a formidable opponent. I want to get him a match against somebody, not so distant future.
I think you did miss one match though.
Yeah, there's one more match. This is my personal favorite match, to be honest with you.
Okay.
This is my personal favorite. It is Roger Bailey Learned versus Michael Hawks, left-handed.
Ooh.
That right there, I think that's going to be the match of the night, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think Michael Hawks left-handed is monstrous. But so is Roger. Roger suffered an arm break, left arm, but it has been back with like a vengeance. And I'm looking forward to seeing, him take on Michael Hawks, because Michael Hawks he's on the tear lately. I think he beat Tim Lewis left-handed, which was that's a big win.
That was a close match too.
Yeah, that's a big win. Big feather in his cap to put in. So we'll see what happens with that.
I'm going with my boy Michael Hawks, though. He's a great guy. I met him in Atlantic City, and he's been training hard. He trains a lot. He takes it very seriously. So, but should be a good match.
I think it's going to be not a shutout either way, though. It'll be like 3-1, 3-2, Michael Hawks, in my opinion.
I think I'm going to give it to Roger. He's got that dog in him. I mean, I don't know if you noticed or saw that he's been training with the likes of Storm Chelino of late, Paul Lynn. I mean, he's always been training with Paul Lynn, but like those guys down in PA, they don't mess around. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, Michael Hawks doesn't have a weak team to train with either. His team is next level as well. So I don't know, man. I'm gonna go with Roger, and I will say you're right about it being an absolute grinder. It's gonna be a barn burner, 3-2. But Roger.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good one.
Definitely gonna be a good one. So I think that those are all the matches that we got in there. I look forward to the venue itself. I'm going to be handling the live stream. I've actually recently upgraded some of my cameras. One of the cameras that I'm actually using is a little bit better quality. Got it from courtesy of Robert Kelly. Thank you for equipping me and collaborating, pull together productions with some new equipment to kind of level up what I do for production. So I'm going to be putting it all to the test this weekend, bringing it to you guys live. It's going to be on Steve Fernandez's Facebook page. I might be able to put it also on a YouTube channel. I'm not sure if we're going to do that, but we're definitely going to be on his Facebook page, without a doubt. And, we're going to have some walkouts. We're going to have a little bit of interviews on there. So I'm going to be trying to help and assist in every regard. But I will say my primary focus is ripping off Ed DeCruz's arm. Yes. Secondary focus is the live stream. So if there's a mishap, I apologize ahead of time.
You gotta hook us up with some of this new equipment.
Yeah.
I'll blame the equipment. Yeah, exactly. Not me being distracted at all by the primary goal.
It definitely is a balance, because we just put on our first SuperMatch event, and we both had matches, but it's like there's also a ton of preparation that goes into putting on an event, and we're setting up everything. We're doing the interviews, the walkouts, all the technical stuff, and then we're also have to prepare for a match at the same time. So it's definitely is tough to balance the two.
Speak of the devil himself. He made it. Oh my God.
Better later than ever.
There you go.
We just went through the whole card and did our predictions.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I seen some of it on my way home. My phone wasn't working with the microphone, so my bad.
Technical difficulties. It's all good. Hopefully we have none of that this weekend.
No, I don't think so. Hopefully not. Congratulations, guys, on your SuperMatch series that you had. It was great matches.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Josh Grant and Sam Mitchell, I think, was one of the best matches. And
For sure.
Ethan Sherritt demolished his opponent, and Matt Bush had a really good match too as well. So
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
yeah, definitely some good matches. I heard the guy was a no-show, Sam's opponent, so Josh kind of stepped in last minute.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
crazy.
Let's I'd say, if anybody's going to be, have the balls to step in with Sam at last minute, I'd say Josh would be the perfect opponent.
Oh yeah, it was day of, and they had an absolute war. And Sam was supposed to pull lefty, and they pulled righty. So both of them were not prepared at all. So
That's
it was
awesome.
very cool to see.
That's what I love about this community. Everyone's willing to step up into the plate and do something, just to make sure that everyone has a good time. That's unity right there.
Yeah, and no ego involved. It's like no preparation, no nothing. Let's just do it. Let's just do it.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
I'd literally. One of my favorite matches was that, I'd say, that match, especially Sam waiting and catching and just holding him, bleeding him out just a little bit more, just to get that press in was really impressive from Sam.
Oh yeah, his press was very good.
Yeah, I'd have to probably say his press is probably one of the best at that weight class too. 165 around there is really. I mean, once he gets his shoulder behind it, I'd say it's very hard to get back from there.
Oh yeah.
I would say now that Aiden's dropping down to 176, you might have some competition though.
That's I'm looking forward
this
to
is true. I do like it, you know what it is. Aiden's just. I want to see him at 176. I'd like to see how he does at 170. I know he's still going to be strong, but I know he can't. Sam's a solid 165 guy. I mean, even him pulling Yusuf at 176, Yusuf is coming down to 176, but he has a bigger frame than him. You know what I mean? So he can put on more muscle than he does. Sam, I'd say, is almost, I don't want to say he's tapped out, but he's a fucking shredded fuck, man. Sam is no joke, man.
He's a specimen.
He really is, man. He's got bigger forearms than his biceps. His biceps aren't small either. So he's shredded, man,
He's a true Popeye.
Yeah, at 165, I gotta say he's probably one of the best, honestly, around here.
I mean, he's ranked top 10 in North America in 176. So
Yeah,
He's impressive.
he's good. He's good at 176. I mean, he can pull up to 198. Shit, you know what I mean? But I'd say
that's seeing, because he doesn't. That's the thing. He doesn't have that much to lose, right? So like. I don't see him pulling at 154. Have we ever seen Sam pull at 154?
not in a long time, if he ever did.
Yeah, I don't see him pulling in that weight. I see him pulling up 170, 165, 176 in that range, and even 187s. But and like you said, 198, he can definitely do. But I don't see him pulling down.
no.
What's
What's your one of your favorite matches of the night?
the one coming up for this weekend, or from this?
No.
My
I
favorite-
heard you guys already talked about what happened this weekend. For this upcoming weekend, what do you think is going to be? What's your favorite match? You'd say?
My favorite match is going to be the Roger versus Michael Hawks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be my favorite one. I think that's going to be that one. I think is going to be the match of the night. To be honest.
I think it's
I
going
got
to be
Michael Hawks on that one. He's a beast.
Hawks. You think?
Yeah.
He has been getting better and better. Roger has just been, running through everybody lately. So I really don't know what's going to happen. After that Tim Lewis win with Hawks, and that's what really made my decision to put Roger in there. But I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. We'll see. I think Hawks stepped it up enough to go up against Roger. So we'll see what happens. I think one of the best matches of the night is going to be Bill Sinks and Vlad.
Oh yeah, that's going to be an awesome match. Bill was on here earlier, and he was talking about that. Bill's super impressive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be Hook versus Top Roll. So I want to see whoever gets where faster, and I know Bill's going to try to look for that strap. So either way, if he doesn't, I'm saying he's got a ridiculous hand, but I think he's even better in the straps.
Yeah. Ben's in the chat. Ben, I got you. I got you in your match. I think you're gonna win.
Yeah, I said that Miguel will win if it stays out of the strap. But if it goes in the strap, I lean it towards Ben's favor.
I think it go either way, 3-2, whoever. I just know Ben how good he is in the straps, and I mean, if it ends there, I mean, I think Ben might have it, but Miguel's, I mean, in or out of the straps, it doesn't matter. You're going up against Miguel Fernandez. He's a monster. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
and he's not it's not like he's bad in the straps. I mean, he's fucking good no matter where it is. You know, so top roll hook. I mean, he's good anywhere.
I don't think he's a slouch at all whatsoever in the strap. I just think that Ben in the strap is just. We saw what he did to guys that was much bigger than him in Montana.
Yeah,
had a higher level of horsepower, but he just was able to shut it down and stonewall him.
And he still wanted to pull out of the straps, and I was just like, just slip out, go in the straps. And then as soon as he got in the straps, it was done.
Yep,
it was done. Yeah, he pulls through his finger, which is really good. Ben's really good in the straps. He's actually showing me a couple things when we were in Maine, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, he's some really good setup tips.
Yeah. He doesn't really have that good of a hit. He's kind of slow off the hit, actually, but he catches 90% of the time, but he always literally cranks everybody back and pins them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if he had a little bit of a better hit, I think it'd be a really big problem. I mean, to a lot of the, even that guy that was in Maine, that
Rakat. The Kazakhstani guy, Rakat.
Yeah. He was so fast.
He was actually there this weekend. He pulled in the open tournament, and he was running through everyone. And then on the main stage at East vs. West, he had a match against Tim Talmadge. And Tim did beat him, but like Rakat's that level, he's very, very, very good.
Yeah,
but Ben got a pin on him. He killed him actually that one round. So Ben's also very high level.
Yeah, definitely.
We got a couple people in the chat just want to say hi to. Jesus Gonzalez. We got Sergio. Larry Flame. Matt Cassioli. Matt, thank you so much for sponsoring the summer kickoff this year. Appreciate the help on that. Let's see. Anybody else that I missed? I don't think I missed anybody. So we're supposed to have somebody else join us tonight to kind of give us a little bit more information about this campaign that we're running, that they're running, and that I will be helping out with them. I'm going to go ahead and post a video of it. It's only about a minute and a half, so we can talk a little bit about it and tell me what you guys think. I think it's something really cool to share. And if anybody has any questions in the chat, go ahead and put them in the chat, and then if our guest shows up, we'll ask them to.
What's up, guys? I'm Alex.
I'm Jason. We're the Table Monkeys, and we are here to tell you why we created TAWF, the Team Arm Wrestling Federation.
Now, arm wrestling has always been an individual sport, but we knew it had the potential to be so much more.
So we wanted to build something that fans could follow, support, belong to, like your favorite hockey team or football team.
So we built a league with real teams, city pride, live events, and a draft format that brings the height of pro sports into the arm wrestling world.
We've already run 2 pilot events, and the feedback has been awesome. Now we're ready to take it to the next level, and we need your help to do so.
We just launched our Indiegogo campaign, and every dollar goes directly into building this league, paying athletes, hosting events, and giving new people a reason to fall in love with this sport.
And if you want VIP seating for any of our preseason events, this campaign is the only way to get it. Your perk level decides what kind of access you get, from VIP seating to behind-the-scenes access to your name on the website as a founding member of TAWF.
If you've ever believed in arm wrestling or you're just discovering it now, this is your chance to be a part of something that could change the game forever. Join the movement, back TAWF.
Links in the description. Let's build this together.
Are they partnered
Alright.
with Mac?
Yeah, they partnered with Mac. They're going to be using Mac tables for these events, following pretty much the Mac rule set, slightly modified to match up with the point system that they have, and it's built. I mean, Steve got to see it. I think the TAWF event in Canada, and I think that it was successful by way of exposing their idea and concept to the masses. It's
All I gotta
changes
say
a different.
is the
What?
city. All I gotta say is the city slickers would fuck all those teams up
Well,
from
that's the
154
thing.
all the way up to 243 plus.
So here's the thing: to qualify for those events, to be on the team and on the roster, we do have a couple eyes in different funnels. For instance, the no elimination tournament that I hosted, the guys who came out first place, Sergio Lisboa, Conrad, Shiu, Jason
Sergio
Ciardi.
demolished everybody at 154 over there. Or no,
Yep,
167, 176.
160. 160. It's 160, 180, 200, 220, and then super heavy. And so these guys are going to be pretty much contacted to be part of what we call the draft pool. And I don't want to dive too much into the information because the guy himself will be coming on here to talk about it, hopefully sooner than later. But I like this. It's starting off with only 4 teams in Canada and 4 teams in the U.S. And I happen to be, we have the pleasure of having it here in Long Island, one of the teams to represent the Northeast. We got Detroit as another one in the North part of the United States. So as time goes on, as this league develops, as this federation develops and grows, there will be more teams that might be closer to your home in your own backyard. So ultimately, we want to see the level of investment that people already have been providing this sport to help us elevate this whole project. So I'm here to help, promote it as much as I possibly can. If you go ahead and screenshot the next QR code, give me one moment. Right there, there you go. It takes you to the campaign, that Indiegogo campaign that they have, kind of like a Kickstarter campaign. Yeah. And it shows all the different levels of investment and all the perks and benefits you can get. It explains the mission, what's included, every detail that's on there. So please, got your phone, take a screenshot, take a picture of that QR code, or snap a screenshot with your phone. This is the future of the sport. I personally like the idea of it because then you get, investment of the entire neighborhood. You're not just looking at one individual arm wrestler. You're looking at a team of arm wrestlers, and it's a local neighborhood. So, it's in your own backyard, type of deal. And as much as I happen to like the individual aspect, I do like the team aspect because let's say you got a Sam Mitchell who can pull up and demolish people that are classes above him. He's going to do well in a setting like this, and he's going to be an amazing asset to a team like this.
It is a cool concept. I do like it. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out and what the buy-in will be from local communities and fans and stuff like that. But I like the idea of like rooting for your local sports team, like in your city or something. It's a cool concept.
Like I said before, we'd just fuck them all up. I'm just saying the City Slicklers would fucking demolish every single person on their fucking team. So I don't even know what they're talking about. But anyways. So speaking of that, what are the fucking Natty Boys doing lately, man? You guys have 1 million fucking followers. Great fucking. I mean, seriously. I mean, that's all I see is just you guys doing great videos and stuff. You know what I mean? So, what's next for you guys, man?
Thank you.
It's all about connections. I'll just say that.
I didn't know that.
people like us. People like us.
I don't know about. I
think so.
Just stop. I like your brother. I don't know about you, right?
So, how much did one of you pay him to say that?
He did. Josiah just saying.
Caleb, we already knew we were kind of in it, so.
Yeah. Well, we're just having fun. Whatever opportunities we get, we're jumping on them. Like wherever people need us, we'll help. We want to give back. We want to give people in New England opportunities. We're gonna actually in a couple weeks do a video at the beach. We're gonna like do, can you beat this person arm wrestling for money? We're gonna like those big viral videos. We're gonna put one of those on in like 2-3 weeks. So we'll see how that goes.
You
Gonna
guys
invite
should come
whoever
to my
wants to
tournament
come.
this weekend. You guys barely ever come to my tournaments.
I came to the last one.
Because you had a super match there.
Yeah.
That's why. Because
No.
I gave you a super match. That's why you came.
I asked Aiden if he's gonna drive there, so I might try to come this weekend.
I love to see you and your brother there. I'd love to see you there, man.
Hell yeah.
I'm
Let's do
actually in New York this weekend, but New York City. I'm on vacation there. But
Dude, you're like
I'll be close.
not even an hour away. I really don't want to hear it. That's like, look, I'll make you a deal. If you guys come, I'll put you in VIP seating.
I think my girlfriend will be mad if our New York City trip is just an arm wrestling thing. I did that last week. Too.
No, I'm planning on trying to come on Saturday if I can. I'll have to shed a couple pounds to do 176, but
I'm just telling you right now, Caleb. I mean, I'd have to say, every class is going to be stacked. I know that already, but 176 and I'd say probably 220 is going to be the most stacked class out of. I already know that. I'm thinking probably between. And nobody entered, but just comparison to how many messages I'm getting, and I know how much they usually weigh, and the guys that are already in the super match right there already. It's gonna be ridiculous. Even Michael Hawks was like, yeah, he goes, I can't wait to go up against you, and I'm sitting there going, yeah, no, and then James Mason was just like, yeah, I'm gonna demolish you, bro. I'm gonna take that class as mine. I'm sitting there going, do you guys realize there's like 8 or 9 guys that are in that class that are fucking monsters?
All monsters.
I was just like, are you
All
kidding me? I was
monsters.
just like, so you guys got to go up against all these guys before you even think about winning the class. I'm like, cause fuck, dude. But yeah, I think 220 and 176 is going to be ridiculously stacked.
Well,
198
you
is
have-
usually.
you have 176 semi-pro too, though, which I don't usually see.
Yep. Yeah, novice.
I might do
amateur.
both.
Yeah, novice. You can do both. So you can. It's novice, amateur, semi-pro, and pro. So definitely, it's gonna be a great place, great food.
Yeah, the venue looks cool.
Yeah, the venue looks awesome, dude. The venue is awesome. The 2 floors, everything the way it's gonna be. And if you guys went to the King of the Table, it's kind of gonna be like that, with the table gonna be in the middle and the seating around.
Yeah.
All right, so it's going to be like that, and then that's only going to be for VIP seating. First 3 rows are going to be VIP seating, then everything else too as well is going to be open to the crowd and around. And upstairs is going to be for the competitors, and that's going to be platinum VIP seating for the competitors, families, and teams. So, and that's going to be different types of food. That's going to be like buffet food upstairs with dessert and everything else. Downstairs is going to be pizza, soda. Everything's for free. So once you get in there, you're not going to be paying for anything except if you want like a shirt or whatever else. But food is included.
That's cool though. That
Yeah.
should be a great event.
I can't wait. And I got to say, listen, I know I was concerned. I don't know if I told Caleb and Josiah, I was concerned about my weight Saturday. On Saturday, I weighed myself, and I was like, ooh, I got big.
Well, what do you
I
weigh
called
today?
up Steve. I weigh 184.
You better fucking stop eating, man. You better stop
No,
eating.
I'm fine, dude. I'm like exactly where I need. Listen, on Wednesday. Listen, I made 170.
You can 77, 70. So you can weigh up to 179.9, but yeah, that's fully clothed.
I know. Listen, I weighed
That's shoes and everything.
188 on Wednesday before Keystones. I weighed 188, and I made 178 by weigh-ins.
That's
Not
crazy.
a problem.
What did you do? A water cut?
Yep, I
Yeah,
got a
yeah.
water cut now. I did a
I
water
don't
cut.
know
and
how
I-
to water cut.
Listen, I'll tell you right now. If you're friends with Devin, he's got a good recipe. He'll talk to you. He'll coach you on it. Reach out to him. He gave it to me. He told me exactly what I needed to do.
Shout
He
out,
broke
shout
it
out
down.
to James Clark.
Shout out to James Clark. James Clark is talking about. Don't worry, James. You're gonna have plenty of guys to pull right in.
Plenty of people to play
Plenty
with.
of guys are gonna be at that class at 242. Believe me, bud.
Maybe I'll pull up so I can beat everyone in that class.
There you go.
That's something.
Put him on notice. Put him on notice.
Fucking, he's always saying that shit. I'll just pull that class if you want me to beat you. If you really want me to beat you, I'll pull that class.
I will say for the future of like arm wrestling and the Natty Bros, I know it sounds corny, but really our goal is to grow the sport. Like, I really want to see arm wrestling to get out to the masses. And it's starting to, like at the last East vs. West event, able to get it on Barstool, able to get it on CBS News, now partnering with Brian Shaw, which is bringing in more people to the sport. But that's really that's my goal. And of course to give that's the first goal. And then the second goal is to give New England based people opportunities to get better, to show off, to just really give a platform to show off their arm wrestling skills. So
Agreed.
a lot of exciting stuff happening in arm wrestling.
I'm looking forward.
I know
to
you guys.
all,
Was this your first, let's say, super match series that you guys put together? Have you done one before?
Nope, first one.
Okay. Did you guys have to pick out the venue and stuff? Was it easy to pick out the venue or?
Yeah. This one was a private event because we really wanted to nail the production. There's still a good amount of people in there, so there's some good live energy. But the next one, I think we have some pretty big potential matches on this card, so got to go more of a public event, and I think a lot of people will want to come to this, see the matches. So
do you have a date for it?
It's going to be in October.
Mid-October, probably.
Okay.
We're trying. The thing is, there's so many events, so I don't want to step on anyone's toes. So we knew there was a bunch of stuff going on in September, so we were like, all right, let's
New
just
England
push it to October.
Yeah, I think mid-October. Me, Mac, and James are doing Mr. America. I want to say it's October 14th, and then the 21st I have mine coming up. But yeah. That's what I know so far. That's in October. That's why I always do it months ahead of time.
Yeah.
Even I'm doing one, and I already moved mine twice for King of the Tri-State. So now I'm gonna have to do it. I think on the 9th of August because I just removed it around twice because I didn't want to step on James's. I didn't want to step on the beach that he's doing, and I didn't want to step on the one he's doing at the end of the month, which is New York State Championship. So I told him, look, I said, if you want, we could put some super matches together again, like we did last New York State Championship. So we might do that too. But it's just like you said, there's so many fucking events, man, all over the fucking place.
There's one every week now. So
you
eventually
can't really do anything. You can't. People are just be 2 weeks before, 2 weeks after. You can't do that anymore. That doesn't exist anymore. Really now it's more on. Just don't do it on the same day as mine. You know what I mean? So you want to do it a week before, a week after, it is what it is, but try not to do it on the same day.
And if you are doing the same day, be at least 5-6 hours away from each other because then you're not going to pull from same crowd.
But even then, right? But even then, that's what I thought in the beginning. But technically, you're still pulling people from that event, no matter how you look at it, because they would have came to this event, if it was on, but at the same time they had a super match. So you get what I'm saying? And I understand that because I throw a lot of super matches. You know what I mean? So, and I get that because they would have gone to their tournament because they're from Maine or closer to Maine or Massachusetts or whatever it is. And they would have been there at your tournament, but they had a super match at mine. You know what I mean? So it's just, but I get it, man. It's hard. It's fucking hard, man. It always is.
You said you're planning on October 14th?
Yeah, I think that's when it is.
Or 11th, October 11th.
The 11th is Mr. America.
Yeah, it's the 11th?
Yeah, 11th is Saturday.
Yeah, okay. So
and then the 18th is the next one, and then the 25th is the last weekend.
The 25th, I think, is when I'm doing the Test Your Frame. I just want to make sure. Test Your Frame 2.
I know Josh Grant talked to us a little bit and like was saying we should get like a sheet that we can all put our tournaments on so that we try not to step on anyone's toes.
Well,
as much,
we did
but-
that with James with North America, and then Bill Sinks. We kind of do the same thing too. So we didn't step on Vermont, and James did his thing too as well. And then same thing with oh, Josh. Josh is on there too. So for September for New England, so I wanted to make sure with them, and then vice versa now with Aiden, and Yusuf and Pete. So vice versa, I told them, I said, because we were only a week apart between each other, but I told them, I was just like, look, I was like, I already got the venue and I already put it on that date, and then they were a week after, which it sucks, but I don't give a shit because I'm gonna go to the tournament. So it's just as
Yeah.
much as and they're gonna be at mine. So, but it is what it is because there's nothing you could do about it. If they threw another one a week after, I try to do it either 2 weeks or 2 weeks before, but you can't, man. At this point, it's just like it is what it is.
Yeah.
A week before, a week after, it is what it is, man. It doesn't really matter as long as you're not trying to do it on the same day. That's it is what it is.
Yeah,
Well,
definitely
like I
like
said,
to
mentioned-
get-
Go ahead.
I definitely like to get some advice from you about like finding venues and stuff like that because it's hard, man.
Oh yeah, it's really
I don't
hard,
know how
man.
you do it.
Yeah, between getting the venues and I'd say the food and stuff and preparing everything and getting the jerseys and the shirts and the different awards and stuff. It's a lot of work to do by yourself. I'm not gonna lie. It's a lot, man, and it takes months. I just have the itch to always have to want to do something. So it's just
Yeah.
I'm always at it like a million miles per hour. Like I'm smoking to relax to calm myself. Like this is like, people would be like, "Oh my god."
He's not high strung. He's not high strung at all.
Yeah, so it's just I'm always at a million miles per hour. I'm always thinking about what's the next thing or the better thing that I can do, or how could I tweak it, or how could they have done something a little bit better, so maybe I can do it better for myself, and then tell them that. It's always constructive criticism too, and take that from somebody, and don't get upset when people tell you, what you could have done a little bit better because they might be right. They might look at things a little bit differently, than you do, So, but within venues, dude, try to stay away in the beginning. Now that you guys are starting and everything else, try to stay away from venues that you have to get insurance for, because you're gonna have to spend more money. Insurance for arm wrestling, I just found out, and I'll give you the information. Now it's a steal. From what I got, that before I was paying almost $650 for insurance on places. Some insurances were $450, some was $350, but this one I got for ridiculously cheap. I'll give the information afterwards if you need insurance, but try to stick to hotels. I would say venues, any kind of golf course, because sometimes they have like a small venue inside that they throw like small shindigs and parties and stuff.
Yeah.
I would say places like that would be the
Golf
be the
course
best.
is a good idea.
Yeah. I would say stuff like that. Hotels are really good. Pricing's really good too. Don't always, chew up the first price that they give you, and they're like, "Hey, it's 2,000." It's like, all right, well, that's nice. Does it come with food? No, it doesn't. Okay, well, could we do it for 1,400 or something like that? And could I use the whole room instead of using? You have to really negotiate a lot because they always want to charge you the most, and no matter what, they want to see what they can get out of you. It's really that's what it is. So just
And
always
do you sell tickets for these events?
say again.
Do you sell tickets for these events for the spectators?
So the spectator fee is going to be $20 to get in. Vice versa, if you're pulling in the tournament, if you're pulling 2 arms, you get in for free. If you're only pulling one, then you have to pay $20 for pretty much to get in, enjoy the super match, but also you get free food, free drinks, and there's going to be a bar downstairs, a mobile bar, and a bar upstairs too as well. So
Oh, that's
you're-
awesome.
yeah,
Do you
it's
see a lot of spectators coming to watch the super matches?
From what I've seen, there's a lot more coming, and a lot more younger people and younger kids that are coming. So that's what I've seen so far, and that's when I was like, you know what? I said, why don't we just do this, upgrade it a little bit? But this is only going to be for once a year that this is going to happen at the SuperMatch series, and it's just going to get better and bigger and more. So, but next event that I'm having, it's going to be almost completely opposite. What I'm trying to do is try to put it on like not like a fairgrounds, but like just a park, and bring the prices down a little bit. Still free barbecue, food, and everything else like that. No entry fee, obviously, anything like that, but a stage. So, and that's what I was trying to do, kind of like do two different, one outside, two completely, which I haven't done anything like that before, and I want to do something that's going to be outside
Yeah.
with a bunch of tents. I really liked what James did, he keeps on doing every year, with the Keystone thing. And even with the rain and everything else,
It's still
honestly,
enjoyable.
honestly, yeah, I love that shit. It
Yeah.
It was
makes
still
me want
enjoyable. It's
to
still
pull,
it
yeah,
didn't
it
it
makes me
didn't
want to pull even more. I was sitting there eating and
it
smoking
didn't
and
change my energy level. If
it
anything,
didn't
it
even,
fired me up.
not at all. It was a great time, a lot of pullers. I love the energy, the vibe that everybody's getting from being outside. It's just, it felt good. And I want to have
Yeah.
that same thing, have a bunch of tents around, but have a stage to pull on and everything else, trying to do
Well,
something like that.
on a smaller scale, the first barbecue you participated in with at my house, you said yourself, this energy is unreal for just a backyard barbecue event,
Well, you
and
can't
like
lie. I made that energy unreal that day. That
I,
day,
I,
it was
I
unfucking real because we had the Puerto Ricans there and we had the
yeah,
fucking Americans there. I mean, that was like fucking awesome. I mean,
yeah,
that was
no,
just
absolutely. With the with Kong and you
Adam.
go and Adam, but I'm saying like Kong on the mic with you on the mic, you guys are you definitely bring a different dynamic to it. So
It was definitely
that was
good times. Good times.
definitely good times, and so that's the kind of energy that attracts me to do more things like that.
Yeah, I like that. I like that idea. I just want to have it like not the backyard barbecue. Your setup, the way you had it, was kind of different. I mean, it's if I would do it in a backyard, that's the way I would have set it up because you even have that little stage to even prop something up on, which is
Yeah,
perfect. But I want to do something even bigger, like the Keystone. The
no,
Keystone's like a
yeah, no,
gigantic.
I was saying smaller scale.
Yeah, yeah. Smaller scale, I do it just like you had it in your backyard with the tents and everything like that. Barbecue setup was fucking perfect. I mean, even like I said, the stage with the cameras there and the back, to having all the logos. I mean, it was really done well. It was. I mean, and it looked great. So filming was good. But that's what I want to do. That's what I'm trying to look at. It's hard to get these fucking parks to want to get you to do arm wrestling because they're like, is someone gonna get hurt? I need insurance. Could you give me information? I'm like, this is a
Mhm.
fucking pain in my ass, bro. I just want to pull in
Yeah,
the park, dude.
Yeah.
yeah.
But it
Oh,
is
that's
what it
why I set up. I actually last summer, and my guys want to do it this summer. Obviously, not today's heat wave, but my guys want to go back. There's a park over by me that I just set up a table. I bring two arm wrestling tables, and we just set it up, and we set up some grills type of deal. We didn't call it a tournament. We just set up practice there, and we had a bunch of kids walking by asking us about our. Wait, this is a thing. I saw it on YouTube. I didn't realize it was just like a real thing that people, other normal people do. And it definitely created a lot of fun, excitement. That's like to your point, the Natty Bros, that they said, the mission is to, get arm wrestling out there.
Yeah.
That's how I plan to do it this summer as well. I'm going to go, in August to probably, instead of doing it out of my garage practice, I'm going to bring 2 or 3 tables to the park, set up a barbecue, and do that.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's another thing too that I wanted to change on. I remember when everybody pulled at like knuckles up or different, East versus West. That's what the guys want. They want to pull on that stage, you know. And that's why everybody that's going to be in the super matches afterwards, we're adding on 2 more tables to the stage, so everybody can feel, on that stage what it feels like. It's a different, feeling, So,
Yeah.
and when you're on that East versus West stage or on that knuckles up stage, it's just, and you can see that that you want it. The guys wanted to really pull there. They didn't get to it the knuckles up, But East versus West is that's kind of what they're trying to do, and that's what they did with the last few matches. Which shout out to Logan Binger and Hugh Horner, man. They did Bo Horner. They did so great. I mean, especially against.
Freaking, oh yeah.
Oh, dude, Bo
Bo
did
is
it.
amazing.
Oh man,
Awesome
he's
job,
getting
Bo.
good. He's getting so good. He's like right there, So
I give him another year.
Against Bob Brown. That was an
I give him another
amazing
year.
match.
I give him another year, and he's there. You know, so you guys were there, right? Did you guys
Yes.
go to Chicago?
Yeah.
How what did you think being there? Bob and Bo Warner. How's the match there? You mean did you think that Bo was on that stage, deserved to be on that stage on that level?
Absolutely. I did some polling with him, and he's super strong.
Yeah.
Definitely, Bob Brown was pretty dominant. I would say like he had a lot, but he was able to slow him down though. Bo did.
And Logan did a really good job at the tournament the day before. Ryan Bowen is just he's a world level puller, so no shame losing to him. But Logan did very well in the tournament the day before. But it's so cool them being able to pull up there. Very, very, very cool. I'm surprised that every American event we've been to, you've always been there. This is like the first one you weren't there.
I know, dude. I had so much shit going on, man.
Yeah.
I really wanted to go to Chicago, and I was thinking about it like last minute, and I was like, you know what? I got to take care of business. I got my own shit I got to take care of. That's less, and I was still waiting for the awards. Awards just got here, and I was like, thank God, man. I was going crazy. The shirts too. Everything was just so much was last minute, man. And
Yeah.
and it's a lot, man. Trying to promote and get everything this stuff done and design all this shit, and it's a lot of work, dude. It's a lot of work.
We feel it.
Yeah.
It's stressful.
It was a lot more than I thought, I'll be honest.
Yeah. It definitely is.
It's a very, very involved endeavor.
Dan, I was wondering, are you employed by like East versus West, or do you like go there and volunteer? Like, how does that work?
So pretty much it's Adam Silver reached out looking for help because I did I worked with Robert Kelly.
That's not your first one.
No. The first one was over at the King of the Table in Atlantic City. Robert Kelly reached out to me. I said, "Hey, do you know anybody interested in manning cameras?" And I'm like, "Wait, what?" And he goes, "Yeah, I see you live stream. You're eager to do this. It's pretty easy. I'll teach you how to do it." I'm like, "Yeah, I would love to do it." And I fell in love with being behind the camera, and learning different angles and how and learning about what headspace really means and what all the different focuses mean. I mean, there's so many different features on these freaking cameras at these events that I don't even know like my ass from my elbow as of yet. But so I enjoyed it, and I actually I asked like, listen, be honest with me, guys. How did I do? It was my first time doing something like this. I'd never looked at this level. I said, actually, you were pretty good at it. You didn't need too much correction and too much direction. And so I was like, okay. Well, let me know if you ever need me for anything else. And I couldn't work in Texas at the Arlington one. I wanted to. I was asked if I could, but I couldn't because my buddy was getting married. So I told him, listen, please, keep me on the roster to be asked next time because I would love to. And just so happened it worked out perfectly for me. And they flew me out. So it's kind of like a subcontract type of deal. It kind of inspired me to start the Collaborate and Pull Together's Productions as a company because I am going to start providing. You'll see this weekend's live streaming. It's going to be some better than I've ever done before. And I have better quality cameras, getting all the equipment, getting coached on different levels of the equipment. And it's not the highest quality available, but it's definitely a higher quality than I've ever utilized before.
We used Dan since the beginning, since he had nothing, since he had one camera. All right.
Yeah. Dude. This right here was my first camera. It was a Logitech $200 camera, and it's been an evolution since then.
Yeah, Dan and us, we ran the live stream for the tournament on Friday at East vs. West. So that's pretty cool.
Nice.
It was awesome. Definitely fun. And that we didn't have anything other than our phones, but I think
I was going to say, how did that even go? They didn't have streaming.
It was so last minute. Caleb was just networking with the guy who was running the tournament, and he's like, "Oh, no one's doing the live stream." We're like, "Oh, we'll do it." And then Dan was like, "Hey, you want to do this to restream?" So we streamed it to his Facebook and our YouTube. So we got two angles, so it's better for both of our audiences.
Yeah, awesome.
It's great. Yeah. Maybe if I show up on Saturday.
Yeah, shit. Even better.
Even better. Even better. We'll get it all hooked up. Because I
Yeah.
was telling Steve, it's going to be live streamed on your Facebook page,
Yeah.
at the very least.
Yeah.
We may consider doing it, on another platform. We'll talk about that at another time, but we'll definitely, at the very least, it's going to be on yours. For the exposure purposes, I would love to see it, go across the board. That's the name of the game, right? We want to get more eyes on it. Not everyone has Facebook. Not everyone is on it.
No, trying to do something with see if I'm not sure if I'm gonna do this with Dolo or with James Mason because we're gonna do something with the podcast that's gonna be on YouTube. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna put it on that channel or do a channel attached to that. So I'm gonna see what I'm gonna do, but that's what I'm gonna do all together. So I think me and James are doing it because we have that podcast and he wants to do it also on YouTube. And I was like, well, if we're gonna do that, might as well. I'll do my own just for doing the streaming on, all the tournaments, and then I'll do the separate thing with the podcast with him and on YouTube. So I'm pretty sure you could put both together, right? Almost, I think, like two channels.
Yeah, you can put two. You can put two YouTube channels. You can put. If you have the paid for one, you have up to 5 different outlets. So, for instance, like right now, I have the live stream for this show on my Facebook, my YouTube, it sometimes goes to my Instagram, and it goes to my Facebook Collaborate Pull Together podcast page as well. So I have 4 different outlets that it goes on to.
I see it goes. It gives you a lot. And mine's too. It gives you a few different. Your Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and something else.
Oh yeah, you can put it on like all different streaming platforms as well. Absolutely.
So when's your guys' next event?
It's gonna be probably in October, so we'll try to work around. After this thing, send us the dates you have. We'll work around those.
Tournaments and super matches, or just
super matches? Just super matches.
You have the amount of super matches that you're having, or
it's gonna be between 10, 15 about.
Oh, okay. Regular table WAF rules.
Yep. Yeah. We have a little bit of a modified WAF rule set. Like all strips go to straps. That didn't even really affect anything. And then we don't call like little elbow bobbles. But
if they don't game position,
yeah,
just
no position.
Less fouls, more pulling. That's pretty much all we want.
That's good. I like the jerseys that they had.
Yeah. I'm wearing one right now.
It was like orange and black, right? Or orange and gray or something like that?
It's red and black. Red and black.
Oh, it's red and black? Okay.
Yeah. It probably looks orange in this light, but
yeah. No, but look good. Even yours looks like light orange too, like lightish, reddish, pinkish. Yours does.
The East versus West one.
Dan, yeah.
It's red.
Did you get mine? Did you get mine, Dan?
Yeah, I got yours.
Nice.
It's still in the packaging.
Nice.
It's still mint. Don't worry, it's all safe.
I got yours too with your name on the back.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, they're nice. I got some nice ones.
I can't wait.
All right, guys. Well, it's about my bedtime now, so I'm gonna hop off in a minute.
Yeah, I got you guys. Thank you guys for joining us. Really appreciate it. Listen, another plug for the channel. Please follow these guys. These guys travel all over the place. They bring a lot of energy, a lot of awesome creativity to the sport. I love it. I love collaborating with them. I would love to maybe even, get them onto a card, down by me, or me get onto a card up by them. I'd be happy to work something out.
Yeah.
And looking forward to seeing what they do with this sport. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, Dan, for having us. Good seeing you, Steve.
Yep. Yeah, you too, guys. Have a good night, man.
Maybe I'll see you guys Saturday.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
50-50. See you later.
I'll see you, bud.
So, Steve, I gotta tell you, Ed's in fucking trouble.
You think so?
Oh, he's in trouble. I was just doing one-arm pull-ups with my left. I've never been able to do one-arm pull-ups, and as you know, I'm a little heavier right now than our weight class. I know he's strict curls, all that weight, but I'm literally doing a pull up 188 pounds right now, 186 pounds. Doing a hold, just statically holding, and that's exactly what's gonna happen to him. I'm just gonna statically hold him. Yeah.
I think it's gonna be harder than that.
Oh no, he has no idea what's coming his way.
It's gonna be harder.
He's sleeping. Because listen, I got all these weapons. All I need is one right here. This right here. He ain't getting through that.
We'll see, man. He pulls without his hand. You know that.
I know. That's where it's going to be awful for him. Because I will take his hand, and then it's to the pad.
I will take his hand, and it's to the pad.
It's to the pad. You better believe it. Coming at you live, June 28th.
Yeah, it's a stack card. It's gonna be great. I can't wait, man. I'm already
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
all set. Just waiting for a couple more things. I think just the banners, and that's it. I think pretty much.
Well, I am fired up for it all.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
All right, Chief. I know you just were able to jump in a few minutes ago, but we're gonna close it out.
We're good, man. I'm good.
Looking forward. We'll be everyone tune in to Steve's podcast Friday night, 9:30.
Yeah, in the Strap podcast, 9:30 with me and James Mason. Come see us. Come hear us. Dan should be on, right? Dan should be on. Roger Learn should be on. Michael Hawks should be on. James Mason with me. And we're trying to get someone else. Maybe I think Nick Stone should be on, but we'll see what happens. I'm still waiting a word from him.
Fair enough. Looking forward to it.
All right, my man.
Peace.
Later, guys.
See you guys later. Thank you for tuning in.